This is the second of a short series of triad lessons. In the last video, we went over what a triad actually is, a chord consisting of 3 notes stacked in thirds. In this video, I'll show you how to play major, minor, and diminished triads in root position, first inversion, and second inversion. And if you don't know what inversions are, you're about to find out. I've got a free copy of these diagrams on my website. Just click the link in the description and look for the Triads lesson PDF. This is a diagram of all the C, E, and G notes on the fretboard, which means we're looking at the notes of a C major triad. But I want to go beyond thinking about these as just C's, E's, and G's and label these by their function so we can apply these to other triads as well. So we're going to label these with R, 3, and 5, or root, third, and fifth. I can take any set of 3 strings and play a root position major triad. And by root position, I mean that the root of the chord is the lowest sounding note of the triad. Here's a root note on the 3rd string. I can play the 3rd of this triad on the 2nd string, same fret, and the 5th of the chord on the 1st string, 2 frets to the left, root 3, 5. And there's another root note on the 4th string. This time my major triad makes a diagonal line. The 3rd of the chord is on the 3rd string, 1 fret to the left, and the 5th of the chord is on the 2nd string, another fret to the left of that. So root 3, 5, or C major triad in this case. I can also play a major triad and root position from the 5th string, and from the 6th string. Remember, you can download the free Triads lesson PDF so you can take a closer look at all these diagrams. There's no rule that says you have to play triads in root position only. You can also play them in first inversion and second inversion. First inversion means that you're playing the 3rd of the chord as the lowest sounding note. Here's the 3rd of a C major triad on the 3rd string. Now instead of playing from root to 3rd to 5th, from bottom to top, we're going to play 3rd to 5th to root, from bottom to top. And here's another 3rd on the 4th string. So we have 3rd, 5th, and root. You could also do that up here, 3rd, 5th, and root. And here's a 3rd on the 5th string, 3rd, 5th, root, and on the 6th string, 3rd, 5th, and root. And in second inversion, you play the 5th of the chord as your lowest sounding note. Here's the 5th of the chord on the 3rd string. So we have 5th, root, 3rd, or you could do it an octave up, 5th, root, and 3rd. And here's another 5th of this chord on the 4th string, 5th, root, 3rd. And on the 5th string, 5th, root, and 3rd. And on the 6th string, 5th, root, and 3rd. This is a map of all the C, E flat, and G notes on the fretboard, which means we're looking at the notes from a C minor triad. And as before, we're going to label these notes by their function rather than by their exact note name so we can apply these to other triads as well. So now we're looking at roots, flat 3, and 5, and that flat 3 stands for minor third. If we compare this to the C major triad map we were just looking at, you can see that the roots and the 5ths are all in the same place, but the 3rds have all been lowered 1 fret. They all appear 1 fret to the left. Just as with major triads, you can play minor triads in root position, root 3, 5, root 3, 5, root 3, 5, root 3, 5. And you can play them in first inversion. So here's a 3, 5, and root, 3, 5, root, which you can also play up the octave, 3, 5, root, 3, 5, and root, and 3/5 and root. And you can also play them in second inversion. So here's a 5 root and third, 5 root third, 5 root third, and 5 root and third. The most common types of triads are major and minor, but I also want to show you diminished triads because those come in handy from time to time as well. So now we're looking at a whole bunch of C's, E flats, and G flats, which means that we're looking at the notes that form a C diminished triad. If you compare this diminished triad map to the minor triad map, you'll see that the roots and flat threes are still the same, but the fives have all been lowered to flat fives or diminished fifths. And as with other types of triads, you can play diminished triads in root position, first inversion, and second inversion. Here's some root positions. That's root 3/5. Another root 3/5 right here. Another root 3/5 right here. This one's kind of stretchy. And this last one's stretchy also. So those last two are a little tricky, but you may find the diminished triads easier to play in first inversion and second inversion. Here's a diminished triad in first inversion with the third on the bottom. This is going to be 3/5 and root. And here's another 3/5 and root. Another 3/5 and root. And another 3/5 and root. And some second inversion diminished triads. Here's a 5 root 3 from bottom to top. 5 root 3, 5 root and 3, and 5 root and 3. If you want to be able to put all these triad patterns to use, you need to know the fretboard. So let's say you want to figure out some G major, minor, and diminished triads. First, you have to be able to find all the G's on the fretboard so you know where your root notes are. Now in this diagram, the root notes are shifted from where they were for the C major triads, but your thirds, fifths, and your roots are all the same relative to each other. For example, if I want to play a C major triad with the root on the fourth string, I'm going to play it here. To play a G major triad with a root on the fourth string, I'm going to start here where the G is, but the third and fifth are in the same position relative to the root note. And this applies to minor and diminished triads as well. If you need some help learning the fretboard, I've got some videos on that topic, and I also have a free PDF called Learning the Fretboard. I'll leave links for videos and free PDFs in the description. That's a lot of information to take in, so in the next video, I'll show you how you can practice triads so you can really get them under your fingers. And in the video after that, I'll show you how you can use triads to practice improvising. I'm posting each triad video as I finish it, so as soon as I upload the next video, I'll update the description in this video. And don't forget to download the free Triads lesson PDF. That's all for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time with more guitar tips.